So you have your house on the market and you have that oh crap moment where it's like, oh my God, we got a buyer agent on the way right now. What do we do to make sure our home is in the right condition to show? It's a great question. Let's get clear on that right now so that you can get your home sold with having the right showing checklist in hand. My name is Andrew Finney, and my passion is to help you make sense of real estate. If you need help finding a top agent where you live, or if you simply want to drop me a line to say hello, my contact info is below. If you're new here, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel now and like this video. Thank you. All right, my friends, so you might be wondering, well, where do I start? Because yeah, I can see how that could get a little bit nerve-wracking and a little bit flustering at the same time, right? Flustering and frustrating, kind of synonymous things here that I'm going here with. All the same, hey, the first thing that we realistically want to do is simply hashtag JTAB, which is just take a breath to reassess. When we do that, let's look at this in a logical order of how a buyer is going to see your home for the first time. Leading in with the first thing, which is go outside and review your curb appeal. Make sure that if you need to go outside and pick up any trash, or the trash bin's out. If it's trash day and the trash bins are out, has the trash been collected? If so, put them back where they're supposed to go. If not, then make sure that you had a conversation with perhaps one of your neighbors, and if they're close enough to you, maybe your neighbor just let you put it next to their trash. If not, then move it out of the way of the driveway, move it out of the way of the front of the home, the walkway, etc., right? If you need to go outside and you notice a weed and you're like, hey, you know what, there's a weed right there, pull it. You want your home to pop. Make sure that everything looks good from your curb appeal. Ideally, you would have worked with your trusted real estate advisor from anywhere between 3 months to 4 weeks before going on the market, with a listing preparation phase leading up to this moment. So the curb appeal should already be right. It should already be landscaped. Now it's just simply about maintaining it, making sure it looks the part and looks right for the first impression it's going to make with a buyer that could be making you a great offer. The second thing that we want to do is go inside the house and check for cluttery areas, especially if you have kids or you have pets, right? We are all prone to getting cluttery in our normal lifestyle. So we might have the mail out on the kitchen counter. We might have stuff that we put over in the corner. We might have our shoes kicked off in the living room or something. We want to make sure that we declutter that. Always follow the 3 Ds when you get ready to go on the market, but also whenever you get ready to show your home. The 3 Ds are simply to declutter, depersonalize, and deep clean. By keeping your house decluttered and you picking up behind yourself, get in the habit, it's a very healthy habit, by the way, to always pick up behind yourself. It'll be one less step, one less thing for you to worry about when you get ready to show your home. After we've done that, the next thing that we want to do is go into the kitchen and make sure that you have everything picked up and clean. Again, going back to if you have mail on the counter, find a new home for it. It doesn't belong there, and it doesn't necessarily belong in the drawers. Now, I do in real estate practice, when representing a buyer, suggest that if a buyer feels the need to open up cupboards, open up drawers to get a better idea of space, to please do it. So please make sure that you square that away, as well as having your home decluttered. When we're talking about the kitchen area in specific, sometimes, you know, with quartz, granite, whatever countertop types that you have, we can get them a little bit dirty. If you were eating rice the day before or this morning, or the kids were having cereal, or you were having coffee, go back and look really close, because we want your countertops to be so clean that you can eat off of it. Quite literally, sparkly, clean, beautiful, amazingly fresh. That's what we're going for here. So if you notice anything, even just the smallest of things wrong with it, clean it. If you notice a smudge on the cabinet, clean it. If you notice a smudge on the floor, clean it. We want to make sure that your home pops in all the right ways. And if you get in the habit of doing this, it's really, really quick just to go through and do a quick spot clean in the kitchen. As a pro tip here, why not have your spot cleaning kit right there in the kitchen with it, along with one in the bathroom, so that you can just quickly go through, do your pre-flight checklist, is what I like to call it, before showings. Is like a pre-flight checklist. Make sure your house is ready to go. You have all the lights turned on, everything looks good, everything smells fresh, and then that takes us into getting everything right for you. But in the kitchen, make sure everything is clean, and please, that does include your refrigerator door. Make sure it's free of anything. It might be cool to be showing off your kids' stuff and their pictures and everything else, but remember the 3 Ds: declutter, depersonalize, and deep clean. So when we're talking about your kids' A+ rating that they got on their math test, well, that's cute, but take it down. If we're going into showing mode here, we're trying to sell your house, take it down. And also, if you have personalized pictures hung up there with magnets, take that stuff down. Declutter, depersonalize, and make sure it looks fresh and appealing, so that the buyer walking in can visualize themselves and their family living in what is your house that's about to become their new home. As a pro tip here, get in the habit of washing your dishes right behind you whenever you use your kitchen. Doing so will aid greatly on the home showing process, and even if you're not selling your home, will be a great life process moving forward because you'll always have unobstructed kitchen counter space. Your kitchen will always be clean and you'll have no foul odors as a result. The fourth thing that you want to do is go check your bathrooms. When we're talking about going and checking your bathrooms, all right, we all go to the bathroom. We do number ones and we do number twos for the do, right? So with that, what does that mean? That means that if it was an early morning showing or even an evening showing or anytime showing, it means that we probably woke up this morning, hopefully, and took a shower. Well, we as people, we have this stuff, a lot of us, maybe not everybody, but we have a lot of us have hair, right? Hair on our body. It's gonna get onto the shower pan. It's gonna get into the bathtub. Kind of gross when you walk into a home and you see everybody's stuff in there. You see the soap scum on the shower door. You see the soap scum everywhere. It's not cool. We're not setting you up for success if it's dirty. So let's make sure it's clean. We also want to go back over to our friend the toilet and make sure that it's been flushed and that it's clean and there's no stains on the toilet, nothing on the ground. So you want to make sure the trash is cleaned out. All of that stuff is perfectly clean. So run into the bathroom and make sure there's no toothpaste out open on the countertop with a used toothbrush and this big old mess everywhere, and you get those little things that get on the mirror all the time when you're brushing your teeth and you're flinging it everywhere, and then it gets on the mirror, and then by the time you look at the mirror and you look up, you can't see yourself. It looks like it's snow. It looks like a snow globe. Yeah, we don't want that look for your house when you get ready to show it. So please go back behind yourself and clean it and make sure it's good to go. Doing so will set you up for success. The fifth thing is to run into the bedrooms and make sure they're decluttered. Now this one is a biggie because a lot of us have home offices, or we have a den. We have some kind of a space in the house we use as a home office. Now if you walked into your home office right now, what would it look like? I'll be honest, if I walk into my home office right now, it's a little bit cluttery. I got the mail out on the one side. I got my computer set up. I got all this stuff going on. I do try to keep up on myself, but my office is my war zone, right? Because I'm always working. I'm contemplating videos, I'm hustling in real estate, I'm representing my clients, I got paper with me all the time, I'm carrying my briefcase around, I put stuff out, and I'm keeping things in focus, and I have it all nice and neat in this little pile. All the same, buyers don't need to see that. What do they need to see? Clean, open, unobstructed space. You also want to make sure you're not leaving like your shoes on the floor, socks on the floor, stuff like that, right? Let's go ahead and make sure that we run into all the bedrooms real quick, make sure that it's unobstructed, it's decluttered, and it can maximize the space. When people go into those bedrooms, people want to see that space, so let's make sure they can see it. The sixth thing that you want to do is to spot check the floor. Just like we were talking about earlier with the kitchen, if it has something on the floor, what should we do? We should go ahead and clean it. We need to mop it, we need to sweep it, we need to vacuum it, whatever we need to do to it, right? We need to clean it. So we want to go and throughout the house and look at the floor in specific. Obviously make sure there's no garbage on it, make sure there's no socks, let's make sure there's no play toys on it. Don't want someone stepping on something and hurting themselves inside your house when they just are there to view it and ideally make an offer on it, right? So walk through your house, check all the floors, make sure it's all clean, make sure it's decluttered, make sure that you have it ready to go so it puts your home in the best light. The seventh thing that you want to do are to check your windows and illuminate your space. Seriously, it's probably one of the least thought about things is to make sure that all the lights are turned on in your house. They really need to be on so that people can walk in, not into a dark house, but into a lit home. Everybody loves natural light and everybody seems to love even indoor lights, right? So why not give them both? Especially if it's a beautiful spring day, it's the summer, it's the early fall, you have natural sunshine, open up the drapes, open up the curtains, open up the plantation shutters. I don't care what you have on your windows. Open them up to illuminate the space with as much natural light as possible. That being said, you might be thinking, well, Andrew, so does that mean that I need to also turn on all the lights in the house? Yes, you do. So please turn all of those on as well. We want to light up your home. When's the last time that you walked into a house and it was like dark and you didn't know your way around this home? It might have been the first time that you had ever seen it yourself. It might have felt a little bit freaky to you. You might have felt a little confused, a little bit off. We don't want any buyers walking into your home the moment they open the door walking into a cave. We want them walking into heaven on earth that they want to buy from you so you can move on to the next journey of life where you're going next. The eighth thing that you want to do is check your climate control. When we're talking about doing that, it depends on where you live and it depends on the season of the year. If you're in a hot state and it's hot outside, it's like 100 degrees, 90 degrees, 110 degrees, or whatever it may be where you live, make sure that the temperature is set somewhere between like 73 to 75. And you're probably thinking, well, my bill's going to go up, Andrew, if I do that. Yeah, it probably will. But if it results in your home getting sold, it results in the buyer spending more time visualizing themselves and their family living there. Was it worth a higher electric bill in the short term? Sure it is. So let's get it done right. On the flip side of that, if it's the winter months, it's cold outside, make sure that your heater's up and it's nice and toasty inside your home. It's warm, it's inviting. If you have gas fireplaces, then go ahead and turn them on so that people can see it. Now, I did say gas fireplaces in specific because if you're using like wood burning fireplaces, that could get a little bit dangerous left unattended, right? So let's use a little bit of common sense when we're talking about fireplaces and trying to further enhance the ambiance of your house, okay? A gas fireplace, you could have that on and have it running whenever you have the heater running and people walking in the cool months, and they're gonna be like, hey, that's really cool. This feels really cozy. This feels right. I can see our family living here and enjoying many years to come. If we get this right, you're gonna get a great offer and you're gonna be happy at the end of the day. The ninth thing that you wanna do is sniff out the stench. And we all know what we're talking about here. So if we're walking into a house and the first thing that greets you is a stench, how long are you gonna stay in that house? You might quickly go in and do an about face and get out of that house, right? So we wanna make sure that we have the right scents in your house. It becomes very, very natural for many of us. We are accustomed to our own smell. We're accustomed to the scent of our family. We may not know what that realistically smells like. Or if we have a specific cuisine, maybe we eat a lot of curry, maybe we eat a lot of fish, maybe we eat a lot of whatever the food may be. Maybe you deep fry a lot. When you're talking about this, it puts its own smell into the house. We don't want to put somebody off by the smell of your house. We want to make sure that your home smells beautiful. It smells fresh. It smells clean. It smells inviting. Think about what it smells like and make sure that you sniff out the stench and get it out. Number 10 is to clean the garage and attic. This is one of the things that we want to add to the list as well. We want to go through very quickly and we want to make sure that the garage is cleaned out in as much as possible. And hey, if you're using your garage as a staging area for your next move, since you're getting ready to sell this house, that's okay. Just make sure it's all nice and organized alongside one of the bays of the garage and that it's not obstructing anything that a home inspector or appraiser is going to need to take a look at, such as a water heater, electrical panels, or attic access. That being said, also, if you have one of the larger attics that somebody's going to go into because you have that kind of a pitched roof, very popular in some areas of the country, then make sure it's cleaned out too so people can see the true space, the true size, and the dimension of the areas. And number 11 is one of my favorite final touches. Setting the mood with the right ambiance. Make sure that you put on some of that Four Seasons or Seasons, Sounds of the Seasons that you can have on television, and you have that beautiful sound lightly playing in the background. Notice I didn't say loud, lightly playing in the background. If you have overhead surround sound speakers throughout the house, it's a good time to showcase that because they're going to take notice and wow, the sounds of the season are every room and it's so gorgeous and beautiful in here. You're setting the mood. It smells right. It feels right. The house is illuminated. The climate control is appropriate for the season. It's warm, it's cool, whatever the case may be. Visualize this home just essentially wrapping you in and giving you a really big loving hug that says, won't you buy me today? My current owners are ready to move on. I would love for you to buy me. And the people that are being held within the home's love are gonna say, you know what? I just think that I will. And I think that I am gonna make an awesome offer to the sellers because I just feel right about this home. I can see my family living here and enjoying great times for many years to come. So let us go ahead and make that great offer. The mood felt right. The conditions were right. If you want to get your home on the market, get it sold, and you want to get everything right before showing, adopt the checklist that we went over, these 11 main points, and make sure that you have it ready to go before any and all showings. All right, my friends, so now that you know how to get your home ready to show, let's talk about 5 things to be glancing for and checking on from a safety perspective of protecting you and your family and your personal belongings. Here's a list of 5. Number 1, please remove any and all temptations like valuable jewelry or collectibles. Make sure that they're in a safe or store them in a secure location. The second thing is to remove any and all breakables that could be touched or incidentally touched by a kid or by somebody else or somebody just simply unfamiliar with your house at large, right? Remove the breakables, please, that from the easy access areas to make sure that nothing breaks. The third is to be hospitable. Even though it is best practice for you to vacate the house upon showing, sometimes as you're vacating, the buyers may be arriving at the same time. Please be hospitable. Please be nice to them. Part of being hospitable is making sure there's water out on the kitchen counter for them to have a beverage. If it's hot outside or even if it's cold outside, we always got to stay hydrated. Part of being hospitable, it's a nice touch. The fourth thing is to have a family plan of action if something wasn't right. So sometimes showings really aren't all that convenient. Sometimes you get that short fuse notice, and even though you can refuse a showing, but would you really want to do that? Because if you refuse a showing, that could have been the right buyer that was going to purchase your home. Do you really want to do that? It's your call. So if you have short showing notice, then make sure that your whole family gets engaged with going through the checklist process. Everybody has their assigned area, everybody has their assigned room that they're responsible for to make sure that everything's getting picked up, cleaned up, and everybody's taking part of it as a family unit. Go ahead and establish those rules within your household today. And the fifth thing that you want to do is to remove all your prescriptions before there's a showing. Let's not invite problems to your home. Let's invite greatness to you and your selling process. That's more or less 5 best practice tips. In addition to the 11 checklist items that we already outlined that you want to do for showings, the 5 best practices will protect you, your family, and your belongings. All right, my friends, so now let's take a look at the overview of the closing process for home sellers and what happens after you accept an offer. Looking forward to our next conversation. We'll see you in a few.